Do you read me over?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. Hurrah. What's going on, everybody? We got another Friday Night's Eve, baby Friday, but goddamn, it's almost the weekend. Yeah, I got a really good show for you that may or may not resonate with a lot of you, too bueno, but that's okay. Hey, it's, as Bobby Brown once said, it's my prerogative. And hey, according to the Constitution, I mean, it's my God-given right to express myself. And so I just want to preface, before I get started, I just want to preface the show with, hey, these are just my thoughts and opinions. This is not a political stance or whatsoever. I'm just expressing, basically just some things that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. And at the end of the day, I'm just somebody that, is just chatting here. I'm not here to sway anybody or anything of the sort. So with that being said, hey, we got a great show for you. It's brought to you by me. Excuse me, I just went blank for a little bit. But when was the last time have you taken a hard look at your finances? Are you sure that you're on track to achieve your financial independence? Most Americans, on average, don't have more than $7,000 in the bank, and people live paycheck to paycheck. Especially right now, if you own a diesel vehicle, hey, guess what? Just like I do, oh my God, it's going to cost a grip, but that's okay because that's where I come in. I help you find money. Where is the money? I help you find money and put strategies together so that not only can you be able to afford put gas in that diesel, but also you can sleep good at night. God forbid, in the event of something were to happen, because we all know that SGLI, VGLI are not the best. Survivor benefit plan is not the best. If you do the math, like I posted before, these things will help you achieve financial success, among other things. So I just want you to schedule a meeting, and I'll give you a free 1-hour strategy session where I will share some tips and techniques. And if it makes sense at the end, great, we can talk more. If not, that's okay too. But at least you have the information so that when you're ready to implement those things, you'll think of this guy to help you move forward and execute that plan. Make sense? Hey, the other thing is that I've been helping a lot of veterans get their VA claims and benefits. If you remember my friend Larry, he's an 84-year-old Marine Corps vet, super motivated, love that guy. He's my brother from another mother, I guess you can say. And Larry just got himself 100%. So after many, many years of him waiting for this, he can also, now he's got his, he's in his 80s, but now the VA is going to help him with a lot more services and a lot more things for him. And, he and I working together, and his caregiver, Lita, and his daughter have been amazing, and we were able to help him out. So, hey, let me help you out and see what else we can do. And we can put some strategies together, because these are your benefits. Don't wait, don't delay. The sooner the better, even before you get out. Okay. So, hey, and if you want to get into the podcasting game, there's a lot of great things coming down the pipeline. Brian Coburn is the man to reach out. He's an amazing individual. Love him as well. Another brother from another mother. And if you like what you hear, like, subscribe, and follow. Go to TikTok, my YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram. Hit me up. Would love to connect, have a conversation, because at the end of the day, if you like what you hear, again, like, subscribe, and follow. If not, swipe left, go to stitchradio.com and find a podcast and a show that resonates with you. So, because here we're all about freedom of speech, right to bear arms, and other great freedoms that the amazing Constitution brings to us as American citizens. All right. So that's pretty much all the introduction. And Usually, on my agenda, I have a little bit of, just a kind of, on pencil type of agenda. Uh, I thought that I might read this one because I put a little bit of I put some time and effort because again, in today's we're talking about perspective, something that's often missing from modern conversation about war, politics, and freedom. Again, I've been seeing the landscape over the last couple of weeks, and I'm seeing a lot of people on social media, uh, famous people, and you've heard me talk about this before, sharing all these things. And unfortunately, social media has created a world where everyone has an opinion about global conflicts, foreign policy, national security, and that's from the least terms like, and people are throwing terms around like fascism, Nazism, tyranny, and they get thrown around quite often and quite casually by people who never even lived under those systems or even seen the real consequences of an authoritarian type of ruling. Okay, and if you talk to a lot of people who, Venezuela, Iran, who have been exiled from their countries, they can shed light on that subject 100%, and they will give you a really, by far, much different opinion, right? And as someone who grew up in Latin America during a time when strong regimes still cast a big shadow over certain regions, and later immigrating, then we later immigrated here to this great nation of ours, uh, and serving two plus decades in the military. I've seen this firsthand. I can guarantee you this. I was born and raised in the 70s. I came here in the early 80s when I was only 12 years old. So I lived in those countries. I remember watching TV, and I remember watching a lot of things that it's crazy. And again, a lot of you aren't even privy, but if you Google old TV newscasts, I mean, they used to, in countries outside of the U.S., they show some gory shit on TV as part of the news, because I mean that is the reality that a lot of people outside of the U.S. they live even to this very day. Okay, and it's not like everybody had a phone back then and everything else. So this episode isn't about telling one what to believe politically. By far, it's that. It's about understanding the weight of freedom and the responsibilities that comes with it, and basically the reality that maintaining peace in a complicated world sometimes require making some very, very difficult decisions, folks. So, what we got here is it's what I like to call the sideline quarterback problem, and the abuse of these big ass words that are being thrown around. So, social, yes, and look, I use social media all the time. I mean, shit. I mean, here's my phone, and we take these things not all throughout the house. First thing we grab is when we wake up, it's your phone. We walk around with it from the kitchen, from the bathroom to the kitchen to all over the house. I mean, some people, even take it that much further. But excuse me, we're pretty much tethered to these things. Let's just call it for what it is. Even me, okay? I'm not perfect. So, but every social media has turned everybody into a geopolitical commentator. Everybody's got a voice. Everybody's got an opinion, and and everybody's reporting out there, and it's like, geez, Luis, man, there is just so much noise and chatter out there. It's insane. And then all these people are confidently weighing in wars, conflicts, national security without any context whatsoever. Yes, you know who you are. I know because I read. Even though we're still friends, and hey, I have friends in all kinds of places, like the song says, and they have their own different types of opinion. That's okay, because you want to have that balance. Not everything has to be framed or aligning with your thought process. And this is a shout out to my son, who once gave me that perspective. I was like, hey, you know what? You're right. Just because they don't align with me, that's okay. That's okay too, right? But it's really easy. I will say this: it's really easy to call plays from the sidelines when you're not even responsible for any outcomes whatsoever. Uh, people are using so and yeah. So let me just back up a little bit on that. So we have a lot of people who are famous, people who are, uh, you know, people who think that just because they have a platform that, oh, hey, XYZ is good, this person's bad, and blah blah blah, you should listen to me. It's not your responsibility, dude. It's not. I mean, it really isn't. Shut up. Shut the F up. Nobody, absolutely nobody cares. And the ones that do, I'm sorry, you need to get a hobby. You need to, I don't know, go to school or something, because those people, you're really looking at somebody from the outside that has been by far removed for a long time from what real reality is. I mean, when people are throwing terms around today like fascism, Nazism, dictatorship, tyranny. I mean, let's be real. I mean, about more than 50% of some of these people today, even people my age, can't even spell the goddamn words. I mean, that's the reality, and have no reason whatsoever, or even they don't even know what that means. Oh yeah, what does that mean? Oh, people, big word, big word. Oh yeah, it's because fascism, and we live, and it's like, okay, tell me what that means to you, or give me the meaning in your own words of what these things mean. And they just kind of ramble into things that they have no idea whatsoever, or what they're talking about. So, when you grow, let me tell you all something, folks. When you grow up in parts of the world where authoritarian regimes actually existed, you really understand what those words are, and carry weight. I grew up in Latin America. I grew up in Colombia, in a country where um, there was a lot of turmoil, and in Latin America, they still existed. Authoritarian leaders like Pinochet were still part of the political reality of the region. I mean, I saw it, and it was just part of the news. People, and also to those that look, a government should be for the people, by the people, just like the Constitution says, right? Hey, wait a minute. Why is the guy who's an immigrant? I'm a naturalized citizen of this great nation of ours, but why is the guy that's, for all intent and purpose, ain't even from here, is schooling a lot of you who were born and raised here and are around my age? And it's like, you guys, you people went to school here. I mean, it's like, Jesus Christ, right? But anyways, a government for the people, by the people. That's what a government should be. And by the way, this is not a democracy. We are a republic. Okay? Look it up. We are a republic. Democracy is what, where you can vote, those things. So, you need to get your terminology straight, right? But a lot of people say, oh, the government, this, that. No, it's the people run the government. We elect people into it so that they advocate for us. And if we don't like it, hey, we vote them out, right? If you think things are great being ran by the government, I mean, we could go back to, not Germany, way back when. I mean, see how it played out when the government started getting involved, and classifying people, and all. It ain't cool, folks. I can tell you that. Talk to Argentina, that up until very recent, I mean, things were really bad over there. I mean, it was damn near communism, and Chile. That's another country. I mean, I'm sure if you talk to those people who are my age and a little bit older, who grew up in those areas with these things, I can guarantee you that they will give you a different opinion. And then talk to the people from Venezuela. See See the ones again, people around my age that grew up there had to come over here. See what kind of opinion they give you when they want those entities to get way too involved and to provide for you. And we're from the government, we're here to help you. No, so when everything gets labeled fascism, the word stops meaning anything. I'm here to tell you, folks, we're nowhere near that. And let me just shed light just a little bit, so that way you don't think that we're it just things weren't like this, and this never happened. So I'm gonna give you some perspective. So here's a little bit of her historical perspective, and again, I'm not defending or criticizing any specific leaders. Okay, I'm just acknowledging the reality of things. And again, going back, hey, look, the guy that served in the military is only a naturalized citizen. Technically, he's not from here, but he loves it here. Why is he schooling us on all this? But so just let me give you some content, okay? Or context. Which one is it? Content? Well, shit. It's my show. I'll say whatever. The United States has faced military conflicts and used force just about, under every modern administration, regardless of the party. Here we go. Ronald Reagan loved the Gipper, 1981 to 1989. In 1983, invasion of Grenada. 1986, airstrikes on Libya targeting Muammar Gaddafi after Gaddafi terrorist attacks. Okay, and by the way, let's not even forget, and not to forget, what happened in Lebanon in 1983, the bombing of the barracks as well. George H.W. Bush, it's George Sr., 89 to 93, 1989, Panama invasion to remove Manuel Noriega, who was a dictator at that time, killed a lot of bats, killed a lot of people, really bad dude, no bueno, was removed and brought here, and as a matter of fact, spent jailed and died in jail here in Miami, Florida. So again, excuse me, talk to any Panamanian who is basically around my age that grew up over there, that will tell you, and I will say this, that there are some Latin Hispanic figures who are from Panama, very famous, and I love what they do, but they're also chiming and they're forgetting, hey, dude, you grew up in that country, and you remember, but again, people forget where they came from, right? All right, back on it. Bill Clinton, Tricky Dick, 1993 to 2001, 1995, NATO intervention in Bosnia. Remember Bosnia? A lot of bad stuff. A lot of people were getting killed. 1998, missile strikes against terrorist targets in Afghanistan and Sudan, right? 1999, Kosovo, again, war against Serbian forces. I mean, oh my God! And I have fellow Marines and in other armed services who deployed around that time, and they saw some stuff, and it just so it just. But let me keep going. I mean, I'm getting overly excited. George W. Bush, the son, 2001 to 2009, Afghanistan. War after 9/11, 2003, the Iraq War, right? Oh, here's my favorite. Barack Obama, 2009, 2017, expanded Afghanistan operations. Again, I'm just identifying I'm not here to criticize, I'm just giving you perspective, and I'm giving you some content, okay? Remember when he said, what a lot of people missed the message is that we're going to end the Iraq war, and then it was silent, but we're going into Afghanistan. And what did we end up going? We traded one for the other and expanded, and a lot of lives were lost. 2011, Libya, intervention against Gaddafi. Again, extensive counterterrorism strikes against ISIS and Al-Qaeda, right? And then, Donald Trump, 2017 to 2021, continued operations against ISIS. 2020 strikes against Iranian general Qasem Soleimani, remember that one. Then Joe Biden, 2021, counterterrorism operations in the Middle East, ongoing global security commitments and military support to allies. We ended up pulling out of Afghanistan. I mean, yes, out of Afghanistan. That place went to hell in a handbasket, and a lot of people were died. And then obviously, most recent now, obviously we have Venezuela, and let's not forget. Oh no, we didn't get it really that involved in Ukraine, but so Venezuela, and then most recently what we got in Iran. So again, a lot of people are chattering, commenting, and sharing their thoughts and opinions on this whole matter. And sorry, folks, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I mean, look, Google, ChatGPT is just as available to me as it is to the rest of you. So I don't know where it is that you're getting all this stuff. And you guys are, chiming all over social media and on the news and whatever else about things. And it's like, I mean, the information is right there. I mean, I just literally right before the show, I was like, hey, pull up all the, and I know there's some content missing from in here because there's a lot of stuff. And me being a prior service and people who are, and having friends who still serve and who are, and even when I was in, I was privy to a lot of information that technically you folks out there shouldn't even know. And I'm here to tell you that it's just, the world doesn't suddenly become, so the takeaway of what I just said earlier about giving you all these times and dates is that the world doesn't suddenly become peaceful when one party wins an election, okay? Global threats exist regardless of the administration. And because unfortunately, people make tough decisions, and there's bullies out there and people who are going to do bad things. And I guess towards the end, once I talk about a few things, I'll tell you what prompted me to start talking about this show, or why I wanted to kind of just come in here and shed light on the subject, I guess, or just give you some filler, because the burden of leadership and military decisions, the weight of that decision is made by those leaders, right? Presidents and national security leaders, they carry a huge responsibility, a huge one, right? Those decisions affect civilians, service members, even global stability. I mean, for all intent and purpose, right? So even when people disagree politically with any type of administration, that the decisions are they're rarely simple. It's not like, oh, hey, I got a pair of dice right here. Let's see what happens. Woohoo! Right? It doesn't really work like that, right? Service members often execute missions. We execute missions that we didn't even design, right? But the mission still has to be carried out. So it kind of reinforces the concept of duty and responsibility. And did I agree with a lot of decisions of some of these administrations? No, I didn't. But however, the job was, hey, this is the job, and I swore my right hand to protect the United States of America and the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's the oath, period, right? And even when I disagree with commanders that were above me, I still executed the mission, regardless of how asinine I thought it could be. But it comes with a heavy burden, and it really wasn't until I became. And by the way, shout out to my former commander at Mount Fuji. He's been on the show, and then even the commander that I worked with at 11th Marines, really amazing individual as well. So again, I'm just being generic here, nothing against or towards those individuals, because they have been very positive leaders, and I love working for all of you guys. Okay, but I'm just saying that there were a lot of times I was like, man, How did we come to this decision? However, I will say this, that it took for me to become an officer, uh, and even some senior enlisted. Maybe if you're the sergeant major or master gunnery sergeant, which is an E9 as well, rank equivalent to a sergeant major, maybe master sergeant, first sergeant. Some of you are privy to that information, but at the end of the day, it comes with a lot of burden. And so when I crossed over to the other side, I was like, oh wow, because those decisions can impact the lives. I gave speeches like pretty much the ones, hey, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna kick ass, take names, this is the mission, blah blah, for glory. And I mean, those speeches that I've given those, and they come with a heavy burden because any lives lost, I have to carry that burden for the rest of my life, and I'm the one who notifies those families. A lot of these commanders too. I mean, they know that this may or may not impact those lives as well. And if we lose anybody, it's a heavy burden that we got to carry for the rest of our lives. I mean, and I have lost people when we're deployed, and I remember their names, and those names will be engraved in me 100%. So when you think again, and regardless of who's sitting in that hot seat politically, I want that guy or gal to be successful, because I don't want, I don't want that person to fail. And somebody out there somebody out there has to be the lion, period. Why? Because there's other lions out there, lions that aren't doing good things, and lions that are being bullies of the rest of the flock. And somebody has to stand up to them and be, whether from the outside looking in, like, and really a really close proximity, that lion may be seen as the bad guy. That's the burden that person carries, regardless of who it may be. And they have to carry that burden for the better of the flock. Okay, so I hope this resonates, because and I'll tell you this. Look, and I'll give you my personal story. I mean, I came to the U.S. From Colombia. I was born and raised in Colombia in the 70s and 80s, and I came to this great nation of ours. I learned the language. I learned English. I assimilated into the American culture. I became a citizen. I served my country. Again, I'll never forget where I came from, my culture, my heritage, and everything else. And I go there quite a bit periodically to visit my family. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that a lot of you, I mean, man, even when on a personal level, I mean, I'm trying to talk to you about how to make your life that much better, and you all have a thought and opinion. It's like, Jesus Christ. So if you can't even make a decision to set yourself up financially, not that I'm tying the two together, I mean, how can you even comment on politics if you never even served in the military, right? And the freedoms that we have here, oh my God, freedom of expressing yourself religiously, your speech, opportunity, be whoever you want. So as long as it doesn't infringe on others, as the Constitution would say, and assimilation and respect for the country's foundation matter. So when you come to a country for an opportunity, part of respecting that opportunity, folks, is embracing what made that country successful. It doesn't mean you coming here and turning it into what you just left, because clearly that was not working, and that's what you left, and you're coming here for something better. A lot of you are forgetting that, and it's like, so if that was much better, why did you come here? That doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, I'm just spitballing here, folks, right? Because the reality, evil exists. There are groups and individuals who commit violence and terror. Extremism exists in many different shapes, and forms. Innocent people often suffer because of these conflicts. And we as service members often have to confront those realities. And I can promise you this, especially guys who are, I mean, go on TikTok, and when those of us who joined the military, the majority, I'm not going to say all of them, but the majority of us, this is what we joined for. Whatever it is going on, that's what we join. We know we know what's up, and it's like, hey, this is what we train for. I did it for 21 years. We used to say things like, hey, the more we sweat in battle, the less we'll bleed during peace. I mean, the more we sweat during training, the less we bleed during peacetime. I mean, those are things that we live by, 100%. I mean, we went all out, varsity level, all that stuff. Work hard, play hard, because things like this is we signed up. When people out there, this is not what they signed up for. I'm like, bullshit. That's exactly what I signed up for. This is what I wanted. I mean, when we started drawing down and not deploying anymore, there was a lot of people out there who were really bummed out. So again, talk to a service member and one that served and has deployed. I will say this too: there are those, a small percentage, who thought, hey, I'm just going to join this, and I don't think anything's going to happen. And then when we get deployed, it's like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. I'm like, yes, you did. 100% you did. If you didn't, then you shouldn't have joined. Then you should have gone work at a corporation, at a factory, which is nothing wrong with that. But you should have really thought your choices here in life. So that's your fault, not the government nor the branch as well, because things are going to happen, right? The burden confronting, and I will say this, there's a burden when you confront evil in the world, and it often falls on a very small percentage on the population. Yes, less than 1% of Americans have served in the military. Think about that, less than 1%. So when people say, oh, we're a military regime, we're not, folks. Stop talking out your behind. I mean, it's like, please. I mean, where are you going with this? I can guarantee that, it is. That's why it's a volunteer. It is a volunteer army as a whole, right? It is volunteer. Certain country. I grew up in a country in a time where you turned 18. Guess what? Trucks would literally pull up into your high school in graduation and start snatching people. Let's go. You're going, because you had to do at least 1 year of military service, which to my opinion, a lot of you could use that. Just saying. So you can at least dress better, clean, wash your ass, fold your clothes, iron it. I'm just saying, but that one is personal. That one's on me. That one's on me. I'll take it. But again, and when we make that, those of us who make that choice, we carry that responsibility. Okay, so at the end of the day, look, what am I saying is freedom of speech is one of the most important rights in this great nation of ours here in the United States of America. People speak, people criticize, people can actually protest and debate. Protest, so as long as it's peaceful, because you have the right to a peaceful gathering and protesting. You can do that, not do some dumb stuff that I've been seeing the other day. But freedom also asks for things in return: responsibility, historical awareness, and respect for sacrifice. Because these freedoms here have been written in blood, folks, 100%. Freedom of speech gives a voice and to everybody, but perspective gives that voice weight. Think about that for a second. So, and how did I come to this today? And I was kind of scrolling through social media just to see in the news and for content to talk about today. And in the early 2000s and in the mid early 2000s, in the infancy stages of still the internet, MySpace, remember that one, all these things that were happening, the world was, we were seeing a lot of crazy stuff. And on a live feed, they decapitated a young man and I believe it was ISIS the one that did it at the time. It was done in a live feed, and then also they burned a young man and everything else. And I was just like, oh my God, where have we? Where? How did we get to where we're at today? That people have forgotten these things, that have been happening around the world, done by some really bad people, and we're seeing like, hey, we've gone from one side to a really bad extreme, and it's like, hey, people around the world all over are being persecuted, you know even for their sexual preference, for the religion, and everything else, folks. So how do we, in a day and age that we have all this technology, all this information, that it's ready at our hands, how have we forgotten all these things, man? How? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, but again, hey, who am I? I'm just somebody that comes here, and again, this is just me spewing it out there. My opinion at the end of the day doesn't fucking matter, right? I mean, all I do here is just I come, I do my thing, entertain to some degree, I guess. But yeah, I'm not here to tell you vote for this, vote for that, whatever else. We need to mind our own business and respect one another, whether we agree or disagree. So, anyways, that's it. That's it for today. If you've been ruminating and just in a bad spot, and you think you need help or you want to talk to somebody, you can more than gladly reach out to me, reach out here in the show, reach out to somebody. And if you haven't heard from a friend or you haven't done a buddy check, as a matter of fact, yesterday, some friends from when I used to be stationed in Fuji, because the other day, and as a matter of fact, yesterday was the 15th anniversary of the earthquake tsunami. My heart goes out to the folks in our brothers and sisters in Japan, because Operation Tomodachi kicked off. We did some amazing things. I was part of that. You saw me posted on social media. So my heart goes out to them. I too will never forget, because I was there. And those of us who helped and stepped up at that time frame with our brothers and sisters from Japan, in solidarity, we too will not forget it, and those who perished during that time frame. So, but if you've been struggling with depression, PTSD, and anxiety, hit me up at the show. Get some help. Military One Source, TRICARE, VA hotline. But just reach out to somebody and talk to somebody. Don't forget to do a buddy check on your buddies. So, but that's it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Aistamas Daisuki. This is the Index, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.